What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing okay. Let's see here. Let me get all this straightened away and we can get going. If you guys can hear me okay, let me know in the chat here. Just trying to get this up and running. Make sure we're actually live. That'd be helpful. Let's take a look here. All right. Cool beans, guys. Sounds like we're live. Cool. All right. So if you guys got any questions today, just a quick scope here. We're going to go over the Q&A questions from my community post from my YouTube channel. Again, if you don't know where that's at, you can literally just go to my channel, click on my channel name, and in the community tab there up on top, you'll be able to find me and hit the community tab and see the post. So you can see there's not here. I've actually clicked in here, but if I go back here, you can see I'm on the community tab of my home page here, and then you go down and I have post here. Also, guys, if anybody's watching here, if you've been reached out to me on Instagram or telling you to go to Telegram or like a cryptocurrency scam inside of Instagram, just know it's a fake account. Report the fake account, please. Don't report me. Just make sure that mine's CameronJames.co right up here. So if there's if there's in person, I'll never ask you about cryptocurrency inside your DMs, anything like that. So if you guys see that stuff, just report it. That's a scam. Don't fall for it. Same thing with Telegram. I'll never ask you to get inside Telegram and talk to me there. Like, I don't use Telegram, so don't fall for that either, guys. Just a lot of scams going on right now. So make sure we're all good there, and don't fall for it. You guys are smart, so I'm not too worried, but I do want to bring it up for sure. But let's go on to questions for today. If you got any questions, pop them in the chat as well. If you're here, we only got about 5 questions here today, so I'm hoping to do a lot of questions in the live chat. So if you guys have them there, make sure you plop them in. All right, let's start with Abdul. All right. Hey, Cameron, I recently followed your complete PPC masterclass. I created all 4 campaigns, as you mentioned: auto, manual, exact, mail, broad, mail, phrase. Within hours, my exact and auto campaigns were out of budget, but even by the end of the day, my other 2 campaigns didn't spend. The broad campaign isn't even getting much impressions. How do I fix this? Okay, so your broad is not getting impressions because your bid's probably not high enough, which is fine. I mean, don't force broad. If you force broad, you're gonna spend a lot of money here. So don't do that per se. The exact and auto campaigns, I mean, there's a lot of product placements you're probably getting on auto campaigns. For exact, you're probably bidding a good amount on your exact keywords. Are they converting? And everything like that. My main concern is your manual phrase. So you need to bump your bids up if you're getting no impressions for those, because this is like the manual phrase to me when you're first starting out is the most important campaign you can have. It casts like a semi-wide net, so you're going to catch a lot of these things that you may not find otherwise. Okay, because exact, we're kind of guessing, right? If you're first just launching your product, we're absolutely guessing here. So you need to just go ahead and you make sure you bump up manual phrase. If exact spending too much, maybe dial that back, and then with phrase we can really find the keywords that are actually converting for you, and then you can put those phrase words. So we can go back to our STR report, and with this we can essentially take those words, see exactly what the customers are searching in, and put those into our exact campaigns and have better data-driven decisions essentially here. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys. For the manual here, let me widen this out. Yeah, it's a little better here. Can you guys see those words, those questions okay? It's a little funky on my end. Maybe if I just go a little in. Ooh, look at that. Fancy. Okay. So let's go down to Omar here. Omar, hey Cameron, can I have A+ content without having a trademark? As far as I understand, you cannot, because you need brand registry, and brand registry requires a trademark. We'd appreciate your input. Yes, so you can't have A+ content without having a trademark. So you get a trademark first, and right now you only need a pending trademark number. Once you have this pending trademark, you can go ahead and get brand registered on Amazon, and then you can go ahead and get A+ content over that. But you do need a trademark, and then you need to get brand registered to have A+ content there. RTs. Hello, Cameron and everyone. How do you find a micro influencers in a particular niche, as well as with majority followers from a particular country? This is a great question. So the country thing, so like you need to go in and essentially figure out where they're from, where they're attracting these people from. There's probably some apps that help you with this demographic as well. Certain platforms do connect you with influencers as well that will tell you where their country is. But ultimately, they're not going to tell you if they're like most of their followers are from India or Pakistan or from some countries that they're paying for followers. They're not going to tell you that. The biggest thing is probably finding micro influencers, because then we can test a lot of these people, and we can go ahead and figure out who's working, who's got the niche for us. That's the thing. I don't want anybody to go out there and overpay for influencers right away, because you don't know if it's going to work. You need to test many different people, many different kind of demographics essentially to see if it works. I shouldn't say demographics, because you know the certain demographic you want, but people you think is going to hit the demographic you want to hit your target audience. You need to go find those people. And if we can do micro influencers without spending thousands and thousands of dollars testing and doing all this stuff, we just give out our free product, or maybe we pay them $100, $200, something like that. And we can test like 10 of them, and we can see like, oh, this one converted a lot. This one didn't do it at all. This one didn't do it at all. Most of them probably won't do anything. And you're like, okay, should I set up a partnership with this lady or this guy and go bigger on them, and maybe give them a commission or affiliate link, or set up some partnership, some deal, and figure out like, okay, if that converted well, I know that type of audience, I know that type of influencer, I'm going to go find more of those and test more and test more. And you keep doing this over and over again. How you find those micro influencers is it's a lot of legwork. It's you going through Instagram, looking through hashtags on Instagram, looking through these influencers, you finding a bunch of them, DMing them, emailing them, doing whatever you can. It could be on YouTube, right? So I hate to say Instagram here, because Instagram is how we know influencers, but there's, just switching back here, there's tons of YouTube influencers as well. There's tons of, you could find TikTok influencers, and the list goes on and on, maybe Facebook group influencers, and there's other platforms that you could potentially use as well. So going through here, doing a lot of legwork, trying to communicate with them on many different avenues, finding these people, and then just keep reaching out. Try to find something unique about them, something that would catch their attention, right? They're busy. Some of these times, micro influencers, the good thing is like they're not big, so they're not like getting bombarded all the time, but you still want to, make that connection first off, and everything like that. So that's kind of my advice there. So Instagram, like every platform's got different strategies, right? On YouTube, I'm going through their email. I'm commenting on every video they post. I'm trying to comment the first time. So I see their video popped. I subscribe, put the notification bell on, which if you haven't done for my channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notifications bell, make sure that, every time I go live or every time I make a video, you get that notification. So that's what I do on their channel. And so every time I see that, I get on my phone real quick, and I comment like, great video, love your stuff, blah, blah, blah. And so you keep getting popping up there, and they see your name. So when you reach out potentially, there's that connection there, that familiarity. TikTok is a little different. I don't know much about TikTok, but I know there's obviously a way, and there's always going to be strategies for every type of platform. Instagram is a little bit more easy because you have the DM access, everything like that. You can even, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, things like that. You have, different strategies there as well. So yeah, hopefully that helps that question. Let's see. Islamic Studio, last question here before I go into the live chat. So make sure you get your questions in. Islamic Studio, how do you smartly deal with VAT exemption and VAT concerns for wholesale? UK is not suitable for wholesale, but how do you do this with good margins? Also, what is 7.4 VAT formula? So I don't know wholesale. And VAT is something I've kind of outsourced and taken care of from other people, because I understand it a little bit, but not enough to know, like, just to go deeply into it. I know how to get past it. I know how to get private label up there. I know how to get accounts going, but I don't want to, look like an idiot talking about this stuff, because, I talked to other people about it. So yeah, I don't know wholesale, man. So sorry about that. But yeah, let's go to the live chat here. Let's see. Brian, thanks for all your great content, bro. You are welcome. Farkhada, hi. Hey, how's it going? Brian, let's go back to there we go. You see more of my beautiful face this way. Brian, do you advise that we make a trademark and brand for each category we want to sell in, or can we have one brand that sells in multiple categories? You can have a brand that sells in multiple categories for sure. But I would so whatever category you're starting in, just get that trademark and brand for that one. And then if you go outside of that, you got to tell yourself, is it worth getting another class for that brand name, or is it worth starting a new brand name in general, right? Because we want to do this in long term. You don't want to have a brand name. Say we go into pet supplies and then we go into tools and hardware. You don't want to have a brand name that, doesn't make sense for one of those. Like if we're going to go long term for this kind of stuff, maybe it's worth it getting an extra trademark, because we have to get another class registration anyways. Because if you get a trademark, you have to put the class. So if you're in pet supplies, your trademark's no good for hardware for that name. So you have to file another class anyways. So might as well, if you think it's more aligned, go ahead and start a new brand name. So hopefully that helps out. Chuba, how much for your mentorship program? Yeah, so there's different levels to it. The best thing is just to hop on a call with me or a couple other coaches. So it's either on the calls, it's literally me or Aaron or Korea. So those are all three people that are inside the program, all, coaches, all people that help me out, because I can't take every call, everything like that. But yeah, just make sure it's a good fit for every side. We go through your scenario, make sure that I can actually help you, right? So I don't want anybody in the program that I can't actually help. There's just no point for me. Make sure you obviously, selfishly on my end, I want people who are going to work hard, people who are going to put the effort in, people who, will take the steps necessary to succeed. And then if it's a good fit there, we talk about kind of different levels, how it all works, right? But essentially, I want you in there for the lifetime of the program, so we can, build firstly, get you a 10 to 30K a month business. And then with that cash flow, if you want to automate it, cool, awesome, fantastic. If you want to expand into a brand, go at different platforms, get to 7, 8 figures. I hope that's what you want, because I want to work with you to get there, because that's really the fun part for me. So I'll help get the foundation set up with you. And then after that, we can go wherever. Obviously it's got to align with your goals, but if you want to keep going, fantastic. You'll be in there for that. Kale Soon Ali, thanks for all the great content, Cameron. Hey, you're welcome. I'd like to know, how do you validate a potential product? So validating a potential product is a combination of looking at data, looking at numbers, making sure the margins make sense, talking to suppliers, to gut feeling. So there's a lot that goes into this, and we could have a whole. Actually, I have probably an hour-long video coming out this week just about product research and going through this step. So stay tuned for that. Again, hit the subscribe bell, or hit subscribe and notification bell, and you'll see when that comes out next. But yeah, so this is a tough one, and there's 100 different ways to do it. I go basically just on experience and gut. Now, obviously I check margins. I check what the potential is. I look at the competition. I look at ways to improve this. I look at keyword data to make sure that there's enough search volume, make sure that I have a little angle into the market. That's a big thing, right? Too. So, because I want to talk about branding, I want to talk about being here for the long term. So if I can find a different angle in the market, like, okay, there's a product, that sells to every type of demographic. Well, is there a product, or in that same product, is there one that just focuses on senior women? Is there one that just focuses on, women in general? Are there ones that focus on weightlifters or bodybuilders, right? This doesn't apply for every scenario, but that's what I'm thinking of. Like, every scenario has its like little niche down. So we can go into categories that are kind of larger. We can kind of niche down and essentially we can carve out a little area in the market. We can, find our little corner. If there's, in that market, say the top person that applies to everybody, they're selling, 50K a month. Well, when we're first starting out, if we can get to like 5 to 15K a month, that's a great start. We get some cash flow going. We see how this process works. So if we can carve out a little market here and get that cash flow, then we'll have that money to if we want to expand and try to take over that 50K a month, we can do that. Or we can start horizontal products to align, or get that brand more established and get that brand going. And then it kind of naturally occurs and exponentially grows over time. So there's you got my brain going now. There's so many different avenues to this. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that hole, that gap, the spot where I fit in. Like if the market looks like a big old square, like what's my little cube? And then it's like almost like this sounds terrible, but like a little infection, and then we're going to spread and kind of take over that market. But we got to start somewhere, because that's how we get the basis sales. If we try to take over the whole market right away, we'll get zero sales. It's all or nothing. But if we take away a little piece of the market, it's going to be less competitive in those types of keywords and those types of demographics and that type of marketing. And then we can take over and slowly grow while we make money. That's the key here, right? That's why I talk about sales depth too. So making sure that not in your category, is it 1 or 2 people getting all the sales and ever that no one gets sales? Or is there, are people on page 2, bottom of page 1, are they getting sales as well? Because when we build up, we want to keep working up. We want to at least we want to pay ourselves a little bit and get some money coming in, because that's forward momentum. That makes it profitable a little bit and everything like that. So, Tazi, yes, 100%. Yep. Thanks for letting me know, man. Omar, Thanks for your answer. That's what I figured regarding trademark. It's kind of surprising because I see a lot of products have A+ content. I guess all these sellers invest in getting a trademark. Yeah, well, getting a trademark's not that hard anymore. You can do it yourself. Actually, I'm probably going to be making a video how to do this yourself. If you guys would find that helpful, let me know. But yeah, I've already I've kind of played it out a little bit, but I will show you guys exactly on an upcoming video what are all your options for trademarks, where to get these done, what are the costs, and then eventually, I'll show you in that video how to do it yourself if you want to save the money, which is about, it's around $250 or $350. There's two little packages, which again, going into more detail there, you'll kind of figure out what is what. And yeah, because it's $250 to get A+ content. Obviously, you invest in A+ content itself, right? So it's another investment, but hopefully, you run lean there. Maybe there's some things you can do yourself. Maybe you found a good person that can do that content for you to create more A+, whether it's videos or photos or whatever it is, graphics, things like that. But yeah, it's definitely an investment. But if we plan on doing this for the long run, go through the product research the right way, something, we're not going to sell for 6 months, but a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, then yes, that's an easy investment, right? $350 to have A+ content that's going to boost our conversions, make it that much more easy to get sales. It's definitely what we want. Suave Poo, great name. When doing Amazon retail arbitrage, do you have to wait till someone buy your product? Yes, you gotta wait for the buy box and then get the product, or wait for someone to buy the product. Intuitive Tech Man, what is your gut feeling for waiting on how long startups should wait on global shipping costs to come down? Startups can't be business slowly to pad the shipping industry's pocket seemingly. Yeah, so actually we're already seeing air freight and sea freight go down. From last I saw, let me look it up, see if I can find it myself and show you guys. Air freight costs over time. Let's see. There's a certain index you could follow. Let's see if I can. Inbound price index, international service air freight. Okay, let's go back. What is the dates here? Okay, there we go. So let's go back. No, that's not what I want at all. That's not what I want either. Let's see. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. So I'll show you guys what I found here. It's not the prettiest, but it is a little bit on the right side here. So inbound freight, I'm sure there's different services too of how you can look at these numbers. But if we look at it here, inbound air freight here, we can see, it's peaked. This is a good sign. Yes, it's still not cheap relatively before, everything bad happened here. Over here, we could see it went to from 167 overnight to 246 here. And obviously we can go into the metrics here. So what index 2000 equals 100. But yeah, we won't get deep in the numbers here, but we see it peaked right here in January 2022, and it's dipping down a bit. So hopefully over time too. So, not to get too deep into the economic thing, but I do watch this as a business owner, and everybody should at a tad bit. So at the first, it's not that important because you should just put the work in, put the steps in. Because you think about all this stuff, you're never going to get started. You're never going to get started. So it's best just to put your feet forward, try to get the best deals possible, keep taking steps in there. And then as you start to have a team below you, or you start to get some things going in, you can start to look at the macro environment a little bit more. And that's what I like to do kind of my program a little bit more is kind of, I can look at that stuff and they can focus on their business, and I can let them know really quickly, like, hey, this is what's kind of going on in the world. So we're fine here. We're fine here. Don't worry about this. Keep pushing forward, blah, blah, blah. But we see it peaked right here. So it's coming down a little bit. Hopefully it stays down. Hopefully it keeps continuing down. I'd love to see it get, below 167 again. But essentially what you also see too is there's since that event happened, I can't say those words on YouTube too, because they'll censor this video or push it down. So I don't like to say those words on here. But what we're hopefully seeing, since there's so many companies that they ran out of product, right? I ran through the same experience too in 2020, is I ran out of goods and I couldn't get any more goods because everything was shut down. So these companies have ordered a lot of products. They have a lot of inventory. And as the economic situation is slowing down, they have these massive amounts of inventory right now. And so they're not ordering anymore. So what's that mean? There's less demand on air freight. When there's less demand on air freight, we see it start to go down. So hopefully same thing with air freight, hopefully same thing with sea freight, is that as the economic conditions, unfortunately too, right? Because unfortunately things could get a lot worse economically, but as things kind of lower down, we could see these prices drop dramatically. And hopefully, I think that's what's going to happen over the next year or so. This isn't going to happen overnight, as we saw from the graph. Like, it's very gradual, but I think we've peaked, unless there's something barring some crazy news, which in this day and age, there's always something that could pop up. But I think we're seeing the peak, and I think over time it's gonna drop down. So my gut feeling is, don't wait. I think if you waited, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. Get after it, get to work, and then you're really going to be able to kind of reap those benefits over time, because you can make it work right now with these freight costs. Imagine when they go down, you'll start reaping these huge benefits, but you're not going to reap those benefits until you put that work in, if that makes sense. So you'll wait to start, and then you'll miss those benefits anyways, because you'll essentially, that time will pass, and who knows what can happen after that, right? So there's always excuses not to start. I think you should always start regardless. Like, if you're looking at the stuff, you're looking for an excuse not to start. So I think you should push forward. Anyways, that's my long-winded guru talk right there. Sorry about that. I try not to sound too guru-y too much, but there is some good stuff that gurus teach. A lot of it's crap, a lot of it's good. So anyways, Brian, I was thinking about having one brand name that's a bit generic. I was looking at another seller called Gadget Whiz that sold a bunch of different categories. Yeah, you could do that too if you're just testing products out. You don't really know where you're going with the brand yet. Definitely just, if you do something more generic, that'd help out for sure. Brian, I think now after listening to your advice, the best bet would be find a product first and make a brand around it. Yeah, so pick your product first. Don't think about it. Just find your product, and then you can pick a brand name around that. And you can go the more generic route, or you could go the more specific route if you'd like to. So it really just depends. Calsoon, thanks, Cameron. You are welcome, good sir. Alexandra Pink, hello, I'm new here. Do you have a course to learn Amazon FBA? Yes, I have a program. It's a small guy. There's about 130 people in there, so it's very hands-on. It's kind of, essentially, it's not right for everybody. But you can learn more by going to CameronJames.com, and then I'll show you guys here. Let's see. If I go back here, okay. So if you go to CameronJames.com, you can find a bunch of resources. So if we hop in here, yeah, it's very expanded here. If we scroll down, we can see it's Amazon Wealth Accelerator is my program. You can learn more here, learn kind of more about what it takes and who is it's best for. But yeah, so I try to share everything on YouTube, to be honest with you, just share all my knowledge. And then if you want help, if you want to talk to me, talk to other coaches, have all my resources, have things more laid out in a step-by-step way, then my program's right for you. But I know it's not. There is a cost to it too, and there's different levels to that. So I know it's not right for everybody. So I don't like straight pitching it all the time. But if you're interested, you could set up a call, apply, and then we could talk about it, make sure it's a good fit. Okay. Cool. Also, guys, while we're on the subject, we go back to my website here. There's some good resources here. So I try to break down a lot of things here in try to keep up with content here as well. So if you like to read more than you like to, say, watch videos, check out CameronJames.com. It's a good kind of way to keep up. Also, a lot of these videos too, we went ahead and broke them down into text and stuff like that. So if you like to read, this is a good place for you guys as well. So check that out. I know a lot of people don't know about that, see that. So yeah, let's go back to the questions. Let's see. Brian, I would love to know how to get a trademark without paying a lawyer. I will show you this in the next week or two, Brian, on YouTube. And to the Tech Man, I went through a book called Trademark Legal Care for Your Business and Product Name by Nolo. It was good. Thanks for the recommendation, Tech Man. That's awesome. Everybody help everybody, right? Everybody love everybody. It's beautiful. Miracle0419. How do we go about naming our private label products? So the best way to do this is just be creative. I mean, there's brand name generators. Let me scale this down a little bit. I know it's going to look funky here for a second, guys, but just hang with me. I want to make sure you guys can see the whole web page here, since we're going to do this a little bit. So if we go to USPTO office and we go to, say, Google brand name generator, we can start to look. Just if you're stuck, you can start looking up brand names, and let's see. There's tons of these too. This one's from Shopify. Obviously, they're going to want you to use their services. Let's find a different one here. So we go to, you know, pet supplies, and we can look that up, and it'll start giving us some names here, auto, and we can start seeing, you know, these. I think they put these for sale. That's how they make money. That's why it's free. But we can see, you know, K9 Wellness, Cat Supply, Strictly Beauticious. I don't think that fits. Pet Supply, Kitty Cook, Pet Pet. K9 Supply, I can't speak. Pause on, I kind of like that one. So we can get some ideas here by just typing in keywords. And we can also go to, so this is good too because it checks trademarks and it lets you know. But if we go to the USPTO office, which is the United States Patent and Trademark Office, we go to search our database here, basic word search. I know I'm going fast here, guys, but that's just because I want to get to everybody's questions. And I got videos on this too, so if you go back to my channel, you can find some stuff. Yeah, so where we were, so we go to K9 Wellness and look this up. And we see just one. So there's K9 Wellness, Buddy Custard K9 Wellness Program. So that's a very long, so you could probably get K9 Wellness good to go here. If we go back, let's type in just K9. There's going to be a ton of stuff for K9. And we can see all the different trademarks that are live. And then also if we keep going down, you can see ones that are dead. And then if we go deeper into this, we can see what class they're in. So there's different classes. So that way we can have the same name. Say there's someone in software and someone in retail sales. We can have the same name, but they're two different trademarks essentially because they're in different categories. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys a little bit. But let me go back to, the questions here. Tech man, I stumbled across a product I needed and couldn't find. I then sat down and made a list of possible names. And while one stood out significantly, fantastic, man. Miracle 0419, pick a product first and then think about the product name. Exactly. Spot on there, Miracle 0419. Cyber Sex, hey Cameron, how are you doing? I'm doing well, man. I got a little cup of cold brew right here, which I don't do well with coffee, but I can't stop. It's just, you know, especially on the weekends. Saturdays I usually treat myself, get a latte or something like a 20-year-old college chick, but I just love coffee. It doesn't make me feel the best afterwards, but for about 30 minutes, I'm like, ooh, it feels pretty good. All right, guys. Sorry about chewing the ice on camera here, but next, we got Miracle. Nope. Okay, so Brian, would you sell something that is not currently listed on Amazon, or do you only want to find something that is already selling and improve the product and listing? So you just got to know the pros and cons of it all. So if we do this, if we do a product that's not on Amazon, there's risk because we have to validate in other ways, right? So we can't see with software that's already selling. We don't know if there's actually demand for it. So the best thing to do if you're going to do that is go look for demand other places. So Pinterest, Instagram, is this thing trending? Is it on Etsy? Like, is there other platforms that show that there's demand for this type of product? That makes me feel a little bit better for starting random products because then we know there's at least people looking for it, searching for it, or caring about it somewhere else. Otherwise, we're flying blind. We have no idea. So it's a lot more risky doing this. Where there's established products already, we know there's demand. But, you know, the con of that is that there's less reward because you're competing with others. It's more work to differentiate yourself and things like that. And still your differentiation might not work. So this is a whole strategy and technique and thing to kind of figure out there. So that's kind of the pros and cons. I like my math brain, my engineering brain goes, I like selling existing products because there's less risk. We can see data, we can use data, but my emotional side of the brain, especially after some coffee, is, I want to sell something with higher risk, higher reward that's not selling on Amazon. So that's kind of, you see what I'm saying? Like there's no, people put themselves too much in boxes at Amazon, and there's so much gray area, and there's pros and cons to every side. And I like to help people essentially talk through those pros and cons to make the best decision for them, because everybody's situation is different, everybody's budget's different, everything like that, right? So cyber sex, 17 people watching and only 2 likes. Smash up the likes, peeps. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. All good, all good. I plan on keep doing this. The channel will probably grow over time, but just know if it's small here, you guys are gonna get more attention, right? So that's the beauty of it being a small group. And that's why I like just working with a small amount of people, because you can affect more change with each people. Where we got 10,000 people in the stream, it'd be hard to answer everybody's questions, everything like that. Miracle0419, how much would you recommend for startup cost for private label? I want at least $5,000 for your first product, US. If you're going to get mentorship, if you're going to, ideally, I'd like to have 10,000 total for everything, but you can make it work with like 5,000 for your first private label product. If you got to work your way up over time, you can do this as well. You can start smaller, again, gray area of where you want to go, but ideally it'd be cool to start with 5,000 for your first product. And then that happens over time too. Techman, what's the like for? It's just the like button on YouTube to show like you actually like this video, and then it shows it to more people in the Amazon FBA space. So if you guys hit the like button, fantastic. I also, if you hit the subscribe button, that helps me out a ton too, because the more you guys hit the like button, comment, chat it up, subscribe, it shows the video to more people, and then that helps me out, obviously reaching more people, helping more people. So Miracle, how much would you, ooh, nope, already did that one. Next. Does he get credit or something like that? No, I don't get any money if you hit the like button. That's free. That's free for everybody, free for YouTube, free for me. That'd be pretty cool though. If I got like a 10 cents per like, I'd be spamming that like button. Omar, once you launch your product, set everything up and start making sales, is it truly a passive business after that? How much time approximately do you spend on each product to keep it running? So that's up to you. So that's kind of what I like to help people get to, like 10 to 30,000 on Amazon. Then we have the conversation like, do you want to automate this business, make it more passive, go hang out on the beach, work on your laptop, work 4 hours a week? We can do that. Okay. But you're probably not going to grow exponentially. You're probably going to stay pretty neutral and everything like that. Whereas if you want to keep expanding, getting more products, getting different sales channels, growing to 7 figures, things like that, it's going to be a very active business forever. And I hope you guys enjoy, like, it's not forever, like, I'm not going to be judgmental if you don't, like, I enjoy this business, right? So it's a more, like, I want it to be more active because I like doing it. And, people discover that when I get you to 10 to 30,000 a month, or you just get this, doesn't have to be me getting you there. You just get there yourself, based on learning yourself. But once you get there, like, you'll have enough money to, like, maybe you quit your job, maybe you slow it down to 9 to 5, and then you have more time to think of like what I really actually do. That's the problem with the 9 to 5. You don't have time to think about what I actually enjoy doing. So my first goal for anybody that joins Amazon FBA or that I'm helping out, I want to make you money with Amazon FBA. It's just like that. I just want to make you money, because when you have money, then if you enjoy this business a lot, you're very passionate about your products, we can invest more in advertising, marketing, expanding the product line, the brand, everything like that. Say you just start making money, but you get that freedom. We're like, oh, I really want to go coach other people, or I really want to start an Instagram. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. These are things that come to mind. I want to invest in stocks. I really like that. I want to invest in cryptocurrency. Like, you start realizing what you actually want to do, or maybe you want to, maybe you really like the 9 to 5, so you go back there. Like, so you just have time to think for yourself for once, be like, I got security financially. Now I can actually take time to figure out what I really want. I hope that path is continuing Amazon FBA to grow it, but that's all I really care about. So it is passive if you want it to be. You probably get down to 4 hours a week once you get it to a good established spot if you want to. Brian, you guys are really racking up the questions now. I'll speed it up a little bit. I do have to go here in a little bit as well. So the likes helps the YouTube algorithm speed the videos up. Exactly. Sand Viable Music. What's the best insert card for more reviews? I like doing a QR code that redirects to a funnel or something like that. Miracle, thank you. You're welcome. Tina Dang. Hey, Cameron, would you ever plan to make a video of live product research workshop down the road? Yes, I'd actually I have plans to make one of these lives during Sundays or something like that to be just product research. I'm really excited about that. I'm literally moving in a week. So like, I don't want to do anything right now with that, but once I get settled down, I do have plans for something like that. Cyber, liking and commenting on the YouTube video helps the YouTube algo, helping Cameron's channel. Exactly, Cyber. Simulation complete. Do you think FBA private label is still viable within the current economy? Yes, it is. People are still shopping. That's just the American way. I don't think the economy is going to get so bad where people aren't using Amazon. No, Amazon's going to be the go-to. And the thing is, Amazon's cheaper than a lot of platforms too. Cheaper than, going to the store and leaving, like, gas is expensive. So let's buy it on Amazon. There's always going to be, it might slow down a little bit, but say it slows down on Amazon because of the economy. Well, that's less sales you have to compete with to rank up. So you can get to rank 1 easier. And when the economy turns turns around, which it always does, then your product's in the number one spot. As the economy grows back and there's more people shopping, you're going to launch with that. You're going to launch with that, essentially that momentum. Okay. So if anything, I'd want to launch product during a slow time, because it's less sales to compete with to rank up. And so you can take advantage of that with less marketing dollars, everything like that. Cyber, nope, I just said that one. Should keep track of this a little better. Brian, your content where you go through research and just talk it out as you go is the best. Yes, I do have a video coming out this week on that, which I is one of my favorite ones I've done in a while. So make sure you guys hit that bell to make sure you see that one come out. Tiny, hi, thanks for the information. You are welcome. Tech man, engineering background. You know, they say sometimes successful people, there's a lot of engineering background. Yeah, I think it helps out a lot, because I look at a lot of things logically, and that helps me out, right? Because the more data we have, the more logical decisions we can make, and you take less risk, which business, it's always a risk. So the more ways you can minimize that risk, the better. Let's see, Muhammad, Amazon suspending accounts like crazy. That demotivated me to start. Yes, that is one big issue, is when Amazon takes your accounts down, or you can't get past a certain step, it's hard to keep going. I understand that. It sucks. I recommend going to get help with that, and just pushing past that. I know it sucks, but it's just the way it is. Cyber, sex equals 6 in German. My product name includes the name which I have trademarked. Wink, wink. Ideally, your product should be unique so it won't get confused with competitors. Exactly, Cyber. Cyber is 6. I'm just going to call you Cyber 6 so YouTube doesn't get mad at me for, I don't know if they care about that word. But anyways, Tiny, can I use the same barcode for 2 products? No, you cannot. Get separate ones. Cyber, how do you know much about those buy once GS1 G10 codes that cost 30? Yes, I do. I recommend those. Actually, I think Amazon sellers are the ones who forced them to do that. I was actually talking to the head of the marketing for GS1 US, and it sounds like they put that in place just for Amazon sellers, because they didn't want to buy 10 packs. So it's really cool. Cyber, if I buy GS1 G10 buy once barcode only, would it still have the same company prefix? If you bought one and then bought another, they might have different prefixes. I'm not 100% sure there, which is not a big deal though, because it's a barcode. You just use it, put it in, type it in, copy and paste it. Sand Viable Music. I work 14 hours per day on offline job and then work on an Amazon startup business. That a boy. Love it. Funnels and QR codes are illegal on Amazon right now. Yeah, they're frowned upon, but I don't know anybody who's gotten caught using them. Again, a lot of gray area in this business. Can I tell people to tag us on Instagram? Yes, you can. This private label stuff seems to be strong direction that these online marketplaces are going to. They seem to now be battling horrible China accounts and such. Yes or no? Yes and no, but China has a huge advantage, right, when it comes to pricing, because they're the source of these products. But they lack creativity in the U.S. market. They lack us niching down. They lack having a branded vision. Like they're not going to, also too, if they care about that stuff and they're good at that stuff, they're going to go for the big fish, the 100K a month, the 500K a month products, stuff like that, where I'm okay with having the products that do 10 to 20K a month and having multiple of those and building a brand slowly over time. And so we have that advantage where we're in an area of our own where no one really cares about us. Obviously there's going to be competitors from China in those categories, but at the end of the day, like they're not thinking about ways to create more value, brand, have a customer voice, all that good stuff. So I think we're just gonna be, we're just fine. Like Amazon, 10 years, get your product on there in 10 years, see what happens. I can't stress that enough. So that is it, guys. I gotta go. But I hope this really helps you guys out. Thanks for hopping on. This is one of my funner lives I've done so far, so I really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one, guys.